I'm not holding the family secret anymore. I'm going to speak. I'm going to use my voice to heal others who have carried great guilt and shame with them throughout their lifetimes. And at first I was shaking and I was scared to tell my story because I believed that people would be, oh, she's damaged goods, she's terrible. People have these names and these things that they attach, these identities that they attach to you when you've been through heavy trauma. So 47 years lived the victim mindset, the victim mentality, and it was when I tried to take my life that my life changed. So here I went around my whole life believing I wasn't loved, and I was loved beyond measure. I just couldn't see it.
Hey everyone, it's Sophia from Sacred You. Thank you so much for being here. A quick message before we dive into today's conversation. You may have been watching the podcast videos, but have not had a chance to hit that subscribe button. So if you have ever gained value from our videos, from our conversations, it would mean so much to us if you would hit that subscribe button below right now, or even give us a like. And what that means, not only does it allow us to grow our subscriber base, but it also allows us to bring in more important guests for you to listen to, and you will be one of the first ones to be notified. So please hit that subscribe button and let's get started on today's wonderful conversation. Welcome to the Pathways of Wellbeing podcast. Of course, my name's Sophia Soul for Sacred You, but with me today is our very special guest, Tywanah, who's also known as the Black Butterfly Goddess. So, Tywanah, thank you very much for joining us. I'm so looking forward to our conversation.
Sophia, thank you. So am I. Thank you for having me.
We're having a very interesting conversation, but really about you. So let's start with please tell us about you and how you were able to transform your life, all the pain and experiences that you've been through, into power, and how has that shaped you into a spiritual guide?
I am a fourth generation intuitive healer, psychic medium, and spiritual guide. And I chose the word guide because I feel that coach is being overused and undervalued. I guide you from your darkness to your light is what I say. I was able to transform my life when my spiritual awakening really began. So 47 years, I lived the victim mindset, the victim mentality, and it was when I tried to take my life that my life changed. After that experience, I went on this very interesting healing journey that I didn't expect to come out on the other side of in this way. I've always done like administrative work. I worked for White House appointees for a while. So I never expected my gift to be the special thing about me. And in fact, I had stuffed it away for a little while, forgetting about it just because of societal norms. But I moved after my attempt. I isolated myself from some people. Some people chose to isolate themselves from me. And I was completely alone. But I could hear my mother's voice as if she was standing right in front of me again. And through modalities such as RTT hypnotherapy, a lot of dark night of the soul meditation work with one of the greatest spiritual practitioners I've ever met, that type of work, I unboxed my gift again because I forgot she was there. I had transformed into a robot and forgot that I had this beautiful, wonderful light gift inside of me. And I remembered I was psychic. Once the memory came and I realized that it was my mother that I was hearing. I used to be able to smell her, but now I could audibly hear her when I moved into my apartment alone. And then after a while, I remember sitting on the couch meditating, and when I opened my eyes, I could see her just like she was 25 years ago. I was looking at my mother again, and we talked so much. And it was so healing. And she started introducing me to different ancestors and spirit guides that had been around me for all of this time that I never knew. So here I went around my whole life believing I wasn't loved, and I was loved beyond measure. I just couldn't see it. And so as I learned their energies, she would then allow them to unveil themselves physically so I could see them in form. So now I've got 18 ancestors who are in my house at all times. I just decided one day I was going to stop holding the family secret. And in that, I announced that to family members. I'm not holding the family secret anymore. I'm going to speak. I'm going to use my voice to heal others who have carried great guilt and shame with them throughout their lifetimes. Because as you all are living your best lives, I'm holding this secret. And I shared with the family members who were not aware of what was happening when I was a child, what happened. And then I started talking about it. And at first I was shaking and I was scared to tell my story because I believed that people would be, oh, she's damaged goods, she's terrible. People have these names and these things that they attach, these identities that they attach to you when you've been through heavy trauma. And instead, what has happened is all of this love and kindness and beautiful energy has been poured into my life because I share my truth authentically. I share the good about me, the bad that has happened, and the very ugly. And I do it with pride because I am not damaged goods. I am not what they told me I was when I was a girl growing up in the New York City group home system. I am a beautiful psychic who has an incredible gift that brings people indescribable joy and emotion. When I can connect someone with a lost loved one, there is nothing more than fulfilling than coming out of a channel and you're confused and don't know what happened and who was that and what happened, and you see someone's tears just streaming down their face because that was their loved one. Or when I'm guiding a client and you see that sparkle come back to their eyes and they start to smile again and they start to sing again and they start to come alive again. Nothing in this world that's greater. So for me, there is no turning back to that victim mentality. And I actually teach people how to come out of it. And there's no guilt or shame for anything that's ever happened in my life. I share it boldly, and I'm proud of me. I'm very proud of me.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that, for telling us that. And I'd just like to just take a moment to honor you for standing in your power and using your whole life experience to help others.
Yes.
To be an instrument to help others. That is wonderful. Really, really wonderful. And I don't know, it's ironic in one way that our childhood that may not be very good, and you've mentioned about growing up in group homes in New York City, from there has brought you to where you are now.
Yes. Yes. I used to resent the experiences that made me who I was. And now I embrace them. And I tell people, if I had to go through every experience I've been through again to be who I am today, I would gladly do it.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Totally understand, totally get you. So again, thank you. Thank you for sharing and stuff. I'd love to know a little bit about you now, and how does your role as the black butterfly goddess embody your mission to help others, to illuminate the path for others?
As we all know, butterflies stand for transformation. I've always been attracted to butterflies. I used to catch them and release them when I was a little girl. I remember running after them and they would land on me and I would just be so enamored with butterflies. I chose the black butterfly initially because it me coming through my darkness. It was a symbol of me coming through my darkness. But then my ancestors always have a plan. I found out it means ancestral connection. It symbolizes ancestral connection. And so being an goddess, I like the term goddess because you embody beauty, grace, and poise on another level, not just on a physical level, but deep inside level. And those are some of the things that my mother embodied, and I get it, as do I, from her. But Black Butterfly Goddess, we teach, and I literally hold the hand of mostly women. There's a couple of guys that enjoy my services as well, my counseling and guidance services, but mostly women. We dig deep and get to the roots. I go for the roots of that tree, that trauma, that big thing that's been holding them back their entire lives. Because if we start with the surface, then when they start to dig deep, they're going to run away. But if we dig deep first, then each layer gets easier rather than more difficult. So we do a lot of counseling sessions. We also dig into the spirit realm. So my body is always a channel, a bridge, if you would, between the spiritual and the material, because I'm paying attention to what they don't say as well. I'm paying attention to what spirit says these people have been through and how they need to be cared for through my 8-week, 3-month, or 6-month program. So spirit guides me on how to guide them through their pain, because everyone's an individual. Each program is customized. I don't use PLRs and repeats, and I don't believe in it. We are all individuals. We should be treated as such. And we do a lot of journaling, a lot of counseling, a lot of writing, a lot of scripting. They do a lot of crying, and I cry with them, but I go to pull the roots. And I tell them when we start, I'm going to dig deep. And there's going to be parts of this that may feel like it even physically hurts. But I promise you, I am here to be your guide. I'm holding the torch. Even when you can't see, just keep holding my hand. I'm holding the torch. I've got you. I can see you at the end of your road. Let's get through it together. And that's what we do. We work through things together. I do classes with them, what seems like counseling sessions, but they aren't. It's where I call it work it out sessions, where they're talking and I'm trying to figure out where our next lesson needs to be. So they're describing what's going on now. And I'm like, okay, that's the key. They have shame still. They still carry shame. They still carry guilt. They still carry victimhood. These are the things that I'm looking for. And those are the things that we dig up. And we take them and transmute them into power. And I gave a quote one time. It was on one of the first podcasts that I actually spoke on. And he asked me a question, and I said, actually, what I have found is oftentimes our pain is our purpose.
Yes, totally believe in that. Get
Yes.
that, understand that. It's there to teach us a lesson. It's there to help us to guide us on our path for whatever pain it is, that we can come out of it, then we're able to help others.
Yes. So I believe our pain is our purpose. And like you said, if we can just, when things happen, instead of saying, why is this happening to me? we can ask Spirit, what are you trying to teach me? This is happening for me.
Yes, not to me, but for me.
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I'd love to know, Tywanah, going on from that, what advice would you give someone who is just really starting out and really is struggling to recognize their own inner power or their own purpose?
Dig deep, you'll find it. Sometimes it's buried in the some subconscious. Sometimes it's back there in that box that we put clothes and bills and everything else on because we don't want to face it. But the deeper you dig, the closer you'll be to finding it.
It's always within us. We just have to allow it to come out.
Yes.
And can we go back? I would like to talk a little bit about what you said about all your ancestors visiting when you first started. Like, how was that for you? And does that still happen for you and for other people as well?
Yes, they are here with me 90% of the time. All 18 of them are here. So my mother's always on this side. And even on my TikTok lives, she'll change the colors in the poster. She'll make, because people will be like, wait a minute, that eye behind you, it moved, or it turned green, or it's blue now, or that's my mother. She's always on my right side. She's the head of my spirit team. My papa's always on my left, her father. And then everyone else is scattered in their roles and they come forward for different things. I found out that I'm fourth generation through my mother. She mentioned this name and I'm like, Jerusha, I've never heard that name in my life. Mom, Jerusha? Who's that? And my mother's a Leo. So she's quite comical. And she goes, you have the Google, look it up. And so I'm like, okay, the Google. And so I start looking up my lineage on the different websites that are available for that. And because the other names I knew, and there's one photo on Ancestry and Family Search from my mother's lineage. There is only one photo, and it is 4 generations back, a headstone. Jerusha Ann Reevy was it. She sits at my dining room table every morning. She's Irish, and she's about 4'2", and when I come out my bedroom door every morning, she goes, where's my tea? And I have to remind her, Gigi, we don't have pots by the bed anymore. So I have to go in this other room really quick and then I'll make your tea. And I actually do make her tea every morning.
Sorry, that would be wonderful. Is this opportunity, and I'm going to call it an opportunity, available for everyone? And how do people tune in to their ancestors or allow their ancestors to be part of their life?
It is available for everyone, and we have to quiet the mind first. So I always advise anyone who's working with me, I want them spending time outside, because outside you're receiving downloads and messages from your guides and your ancestors, and you don't even realize it. And then all of a sudden something clicks one day. But I believe, this is just my personal belief and me going off of what my mother says, it's a little difficult to get through the Wi-Fi and, all the different electron charges and things like that for the less experienced spirits. So spirits that have not learned how to use energy yet. They are always around you, but the first thing you have to do is ask them to come forward. They will not show you signs and signals until you ask them to. And one of the things I teach my clients is you just ask, you sit, you quiet your mind, turn everything off. Healed ancestors, spirit guides, and angels that are here for my highest good, please come forward. And you'll start to see synchronicity, pennies where your change purse was not located. You know your car keys were right here. You just know you saw them 5 minutes ago. They were right there. And now they're in the back bedroom. things, they'll start to show themselves to you. And you just have to realize it's them trying to get your attention.
Be a wonderful experience. And and again, I agree with you. It's not going to happen sitting in front of a computer all day or on devices. You do definitely need to get out and unplug and get out into nature. Totally.
I have not turned my television on in 7 or 8 months.
Yeah.
I listen to high frequency music most of the day when I'm working, and because I want to hear them. If there's something important, I want them to be able to get it through to me.
I totally agree. Thank you for sharing that. And I'd love to know, Tywanah, with your life, how do you balance your spiritual calling, your spiritual path, with the demands of everyday life? We do live in a crazy world, especially with technology. But even for people who don't have that much tech, it's still a little bit crazy out there. It's a little bit busy. How do you balance your spiritual calling with living in this world?
I make sure I block my calendar off with intention. So I will literally put no appointments and put a whole block off of a day. And that means I don't care who wants a reading. We're going to work around those days. And I do that probably 2 to 3 days a week, where I'll just block it off, and whatever I need to get done, I get done during those days. Or even if I just want to sit and read a book, I might have a new book that I want to read. I take that time to do that. I sit outside on my patio, my balcony, proper term, with my dog and read a book and enjoy. I'm a juicer. I'm very into my health, as my ancestors have required my diet to change. That's something else about them, because of, especially here in the United States, because of the chemicals and things that are placed in our foods, they may require diet changes. So I'll sit outside and enjoy a fresh cup of celery, lemon, and ginger juice and read a book and let my dog just sit there on my lap and to decompress after I run my errands or do whatever I need to do. I have 3 of the most beautiful women that were ever born as daughters that I am beyond proud of. And I have 2 of the cutest little grandbabies. They just turned 9 and 11. A little boy, he's 11, and a little girl, she's 9, and she told me I'm her bestie. So I think that's just because anytime she sends something she wants, I send it. But that's how I balance life. And they help me to keep life balanced. So I'm looking forward. I find out from my doctor next week if I'll be cleared to fly. And if so, I am going to spend some time with my children and my grandchildren for the holidays.
Nice, nice, and good luck on that. I'm sure you will.
Thank you.
Want to do that because you radiate that purpose, that being there, on how important it is to spend time with family. Thank you.
Yes.
Now, you're also an established author as well, aren't you?
Yes, I am. It's an anthology, and it was released on October 29th. So yes, I am, and it discusses the last 2.5 years of my life and the big event that led to me changing everything about my life.
And the anthology, is that available on your website?
It's not uploaded on my website yet. It's in my Stan store, but it's called Divine Synchronicity. It is on Amazon, as well as on the Inspired Living Publishing website.
For anyone who is watching or listening to our podcast, do click on the links below to reach out to Tywanah and also have a look at her books and everything else that you offer, because you do readings.
Yes, I do. I do quick readings, which are like an hour, and those don't include channeling. But then I do readings where we channel your loved ones. My body is used as the channel to bring your loved ones forward. Now, by spiritual law, I am not supposed to ask any loved ones to come forward that have been deceased for less than a year and a day. They have not learned how to use their energy yet, and it can be quite frightening. They can be very frantic. However, if they choose to come forward, that's a different story. And for anyone who would like a reading, who's watching this podcast, if they mention Sacred You, I will give them 20% off of any of the readings that I do.
And all that is on your website too. So we'll be putting all your links down below this.
Yes.
So yes, if you're watching or listening, do reach out to Tywanah, because I can feel you, Tywanah, even though we're on the other side of the world and we're on technology. Doesn't really matter where you are, it's your energy. You are extremely powerful and very authentic. And I said, I'm honored to be able to chat to you.
Thank you. Thank you. So am I. So am I.
I'd love to know, talking about your ancestors and others' ancestors, how do you integrate ancient wisdom that you may know or that they may share with all the modern challenges when you help others?
It's a really good question, because I do use a lot of their wisdom and their knowledge. Sometimes I don't even realize where I'm getting it from until I pause for a moment or until a session is over. But I'm open about the number of people in the room. Whenever I start talking with somebody, I'm not alone. Even when I open my TikTok lives, I am not alone. There are 18 ancestors with me here in the room. This one is from this place. This one is from this place. And if they channel, this is what you will see. But I am very clear in letting people know that whatever comes out of my mouth is not of my own. It is from them. I am only a channel for their wisdom and their guidance. So I'm clear about allowing people to know that. I'm not the wise one here. I wouldn't know you from a can of paint, but I can still integrate it. For example, I have a Native American ancestor. And when I was introduced to him, I asked him what his formal name was, and he said, "You call me Chief." Okay, I call you Chief. That's all I need to know. His energy is very powerful. So he stands across the room in the corner. And the only time he comes forward is if I am in danger or someone has Native American in their ancestry and doesn't know it, and I'm reading them. So I will tell them the chief is moving forward. That means, did you know you have Native American in your ancestry? And usually they're really happy when they can find those things out. Some of them know, some of them don't know, but it's all in the way they move about the room. It's literally all in the way they move.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that, because it would be very powerful and a very special experience to have a lot of ancestors there that you can just tune into or tap into, and that they can share their knowledge, their healing. Because I know in today's world, we're in modern world, right? In the doctors and the modern medicine, it's just medicine. It's just Band-Aids.
Exactly.
Band-Aids, superficial chemical Band-Aids, if I can say. Where when we go back to our ancestors, that is true healing.
Yes.
It's on a physical level or on an emotional, as you said, those deep wounds that we all have.
Yes.
And we're all very good at covering up.
Yes.
Whether it's through modern medicine or whether it's through avoidance and devices. But yet our ancestors do know.
Yes. My Gigi Jerusha, the one I spoke about earlier, the Irish one, she's the herbologist. She's the one who knows what to mix with what. If you're feeling this way, drink this. If you're feeling that way, juice this. And she's taught me a lot of that. So I enjoy when she speaks, even though she can be quite abrupt. I enjoy when she speaks and shares that knowledge with me, as I've recently had a health challenge, and she has definitely spoken a lot on how to help with that health challenge. I'm the guinea pig. if you will.
And what a wonderful guinea pig. What a wonderful
Yes.
opportunity to be.
Yes.
Yes. Can I just congratulate you on being a guinea pig? Because I think
Absolutely.
to have your healing team with you who know all the ancient wisdom and techniques that can heal us in such a more profound way than modern medicine does.
Yes. Yes. When I went through my spiritual awakening, in fact, like I said, I was alone. I had no one to call. I lived with no one. And I remember I was sitting rocking back and forth one night, and my mom was like, "You need to ground." And I'm just rocking back and forth, and she says, "Go run the tub and put sea salt in there." And something so simple, right? Something so simple, but that literally calmed my entire nervous system down.
Yes, it does.
I couldn't believe it. It was the middle of the night, and I was just sitting here rocking. I don't know if I can do this, Mom. I don't know. And she's, "You can do it. You need to ground. Go run a tub, and I want you to sit in it for 30 minutes with sea salt."
Yeah.
After that, my entire nervous system was calm.
Again, something I've experienced is something that I agree with very. I have a bath or a tub here that quite often gets used. And I also have my grounding tree whenever I go for a walk because I'm flat-footed and pretty much have to use orthotics and shoes. I find it very difficult to stand without orthotics in me. Then you may walk out in nature and you're still in nature, but you're not connected to the ground.
Right.
So I have my grounding tree that I say good morning to every day and just, and you can feel the energy. Very similar. And when you have a bath in salt, sea salt, it's natural.
Yes.
There's a big difference that, and I'm sure everyone has experienced from when you go swimming in the ocean,
Yes.
swimming in a pool that's full of chlorine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Big difference. So thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
And I'd love to know, Tywanah, what do you envision for your future, for the future of your mission as the Black Butterfly Goddess?
Next year, I was casted for a documentary by the creators of The Secret, the movie The Secret, Rise of the Lioness. So that's happening next year. My personal memoir will be available for purchase for Christmas next year. And I expect Black Butterfly Goddess to grow by leaps and bounds in the way of clients, new clients. The not rebranding, but the redefining that I've just done, the fine-tuning that I have just done, where I created 3 different programs versus one. I really believe, I know it's going to bring a lot of success to Black Butterfly Goddess and growth. I'll be hiring, I already have her selected, she's already agreed, a project manager for May. We're slated for May of next year, so she can handle the back end of things, so I can take my hands off of that and just be that channel for the clients.
Wonderful. I look forward to it. And please do come back. It's been an honor to chat with you. But before we wrap up, is there anything else that you would like to share about your mission, about how you can help others heal, but also how we can heal ourselves?
I help others heal by showing them that they're the ones doing the work. Sometimes we don't realize we're the ones doing the work. I just give the tools. I can just be the bridge, but the individual is actually doing the work, and we can heal ourselves by first changing the belief that we can't. It starts in the mind, and then it rolls off the tongue by changing our language. Stop using never and always, and be careful about your speech. Your speech goes out into the universe, and the universe says, yes, more of that. So I don't, for example, someone on my TikTok one night wrote that she was always broke. And I said to her, please reframe that sentence. And she goes, what do you mean? And I said, universe just said, yes, she's always broke. And so reframing our mindset and especially our speech, aligning our chakras, very important, knowing what they do. And most of all, listen to your intuition. Your body tells you everything you need to know.
Totally agree with you, especially listening to your intuition and being careful of your speech, because what you ask for, you receive. And we don't even realize how powerful our words are. And they can be just simple words. I had a habit of letting people know that things were not a problem. I'm running late. Yeah, sure, not a problem. I need this in, not a problem. But you don't realize that the universe is listening to that word, problem.
Yes.
You want more problems? We'll give you more problems. Doesn't quite get the it's not part. It just says having this thing about just saying I'm always broke, very powerful.
Yes.
And something that can certainly be reframed.
As you see, I won't even repeat it. I make sure I'm careful where I say she said she is, because I won't even repeat the sentence.
I know, it's very powerful. So thank you ever so much. And like I said, for everyone who is watching or listening, do click on the links below and reach out to Tywanah and take up that offer. Mention Sacred You, get a reading, because you never know where that reading is going to lead you. Truly,
My first one was life altering.
Yes, yes, you never know. Do that. And thank you ever so much, Tywanah, for being a guest on the Pathways to Wellbeing, to helping people in the world to find their purpose and to heal their well-being, whether it's financially or emotionally or physically. So much in today's world, we have the answers, but we're too caught up in the problem, in whatever, to be able to know that. And that's why we need people like yourself to be able to listen, as you're saying, to listen to what people are saying, to know what the real answer is. So thank you ever so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
And I look forward to talking to you again very soon, especially
yes.
when all other books are released and this new chapter that's happening in your life next year. So do come back and share about that.
Thank you, I will.